Welcome to the Top M&A Entrepreneurs. Today, my guest is Mushfiq Sarker. He's bought and sold over 200 content businesses. Welcome to the show, Mushfiq.
Thank you, John. Thank you so much for having me.
So I got to tell you, first of all, I went back to your background here, and you've got a doctor of philosophy from electrical and electronics from University of Washington. How did you go from philosophy to buying and selling websites?
Yes, it's a PhD. So I just some backstory probably help you understand that. 2008 is when I got started. I was I think a freshman in college, and that's when I got started on how to make money online. I learned how to build websites, and essentially built a few up, and some were acquired. And so during college, I paid off all my student loans, had money to live off of because I had these side businesses going on. But it was always supposed to be something part-time. So I had a career. I was building up a career in electrical engineering. I got my bachelor's, did my PhD at University of Washington. So that was always the path I was taking. However, I always had this thing on the side that allowed me to, stay debt-free, have extra money for fun things. And so it's always been on the side. So I went into the startup world, VC world, worked on a lot of startups, raised funding, went through all of that. But I was in the clean energy niche, like the industry, renewable energy, and there's so much red tape, so many things, the government, a lot of, it takes a long time to see success. Whereas on the business world, I was buying businesses and then selling them within a few years. The liquidity events were very quick, right? So come 2020, it's
pandemic. You didn't have to get permission from anybody.
No permission, right? You just have to find a buyer, close the deal where everybody's happy, right? Yeah. Whereas on the VC world, I had one company go bankrupt and then joined another one. And it's just everything moves so slow. So come 2020, I've always kind of been in the background in the different communities. People knew my name more or less. And so I said, okay, let's do the website flip.com, which was my outlet. Case studies, what I'm buying, what I'm selling, my insights all shared openly. And that actually started as a substack.com newsletter until it went into a website. So, that took off. And then I decided, okay, it's time to go full time into acquisitions and just do this because I had a second PhD in buying businesses, right? So okay, gotta stop that one and focus on this. So since 2020 April, I've been full time in this.
Yeah, let me ask you about that website flip. I'm going to share a screen here real quick, just kind of.
Yep.
So this is your first. You just kind of learn how to do it. It's basically a newsletter. Websites for sale and case studies, right?
Yeah, this is not my first website, right? I've already flipped bought 150 plus websites before I even got to this. So this is my brand, like you have yours.
This is the older overall
hierarchy.
Yeah,
exactly. The overarching brand. I have a newsletter here where every single Wednesday because I have access to deal flow, I have access to off-market deal flow plus on market through brokerages. But what people are really signing up for is my insights. So I break down each deal, about 3 or 4 deals each week, give what are the easy wins, what are the pros, cons, what would I pay for it, and some data associated with each deal. And that's what the actionable insights the individuals get when they sign up. And then they can go and buy those or just use it as a learning process. So that has really taken off. Every week I send that out.
Yeah, that's valuable, what you did to each one of those. I've got to ask you, can you go back to your memory? What was the first business you bought and how much you bought it for and what did you do with it?
Yeah. So the first business I actually built, so the story on that, 2008 when I was getting started, there was an industry that was actually very hot back then, VoIP, voice over internet protocol.
Yeah.
Skype was just coming out, and they actually paid people to refer them customers. Not anymore. So I was a Skype affiliate, and all these different VoIP for business to business and also consumers. Because if consumers back then had to call internationally, you would have to use VoIP. There was no WhatsApp, Facebook, all these things that are available today to connect all over the world. So anyways, I started one of the top sites in that vertical. That helped me pay my college, gave me that money to, live off of. So that's 2008. I worked on in 2009. 2010, the biggest competitor of mine just reached out of the blue and said, what do you want for it, right? So I came up with a number, and at that time it was a very low multiple. So I sold it for 25,000 at that time.
Oh my God! Did they think, oh, we got a great deal from this kid?
Yeah, exactly. It should have been at least 100,000 based on revenue plus, because you're selling to a competitor.
A strategic buyer, doesn't matter what they pay for it sometimes.
Exactly.
Like the website Generational, they don't even list the multiples on it, because strategic buyer comes in, just say, hey, we could plug it in or tuck it in and make money immediately.
Yeah, so the site, I can share that, is cheapestvoipcalls.net. And now that actually redirects to voipreview.org, which was the biggest, and today is still the biggest competitor. And it's owned by a private equity company / Stoddard. So yeah, that was that. I saw the whole process of building something and then selling it. And that's when I was hooked on, buying and selling, because it opened the market up to, if they're buying from me, I can buy from somebody else and then use my expertise, which is search engine optimization, conversion optimization, monetization, and just plug those in, grow it, and then just sell it again, right?
So as an affiliate, you were just trying to figure out how to bring eyeballs to your website, right?
Exactly.
Hey, did you focus on organic, or did you do any paid traffic?
No, I am mostly organic search and some social media. Yeah.
Cool. So what was the second website? What would that look like? You go, oh my God, I made,
Yeah, I wish I could remember exactly what second, but I can tell you the gist of it. Back then, Amazon was just growing. And so they had a very, very strong affiliate program, the Amazon Associates, essentially. They would pay, I think it was 10% commissions, and you get paid on everything on somebody's shopping cart. So you could funnel people organically to your site about, let's say, blenders. Just an example, somebody clicks through, but they buy a blender, a microwave, some other little things, and you get paid on everything. So it was very lucrative. So for many years, I bought and built up Amazon affiliate sites, essentially, which was like best of products, like best blender, best TV, and all those kind of things. Built up sites like that and sold those. That was for about 5-10 years.
Is that still viable business, affiliate for Amazon?
It's very hard. First, commissions have been cut from 8-10% down to 2-4%. Organic search, Google essentially has tightened it down and said, okay, most of these sites are doorway sites, which is essentially funneling people from when somebody types in best blender to your site and then to Amazon, and they realize you don't need that. You can just show Amazon, right? So you have to have higher quality standards. You have to actually touch the product, which in the past was so much easier. You didn't have to review the product. Google has come to a point, they're very smart now. And so competitors, you have to compete with Wirecutter.com, which is New York Times owned, where they go very rigorous and really review each of the products. So if you do it right, it's still viable, but it's much more expensive to get started today than it was 10 years ago.
Oh yeah. With such a small margin in there, it's, it seems like you can be losing a lot of money or time, and at least to drive traffic to it for 1 to 2%.
Exactly.
So when did you start believing, you go, hey, instead of heading towards the VC startup route and solar energy, I'm going to buy and sell websites?
Yeah, good question. So the website, essentially my thing was I needed to replace my day job income. And that happened fairly quickly with the websiteflip.com launch after about a year or so operation. And so that's essentially what it was, that I had to convince my wife that this was more sustainable and long-term than that. And it worked after a year. So simple.
So on this website flip that we showed earlier, let me share that screen again, how do you make money from this?
Oh yeah. So my newsletter, we have advertisers. I have courses. I have three,
Oh,
four
here we go. Yeah.
consulting. Yeah, a lot of different digital products to consulting to advertising.
Where's the courses at? Under their product. Oh, here
Under,
it is.
yeah,
Website flipping course.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's my
Oh,
most
that's cool.
purchased course. Yeah, so it's a video-based course.
Video-based course, course and due diligence PDF, course on website flipping. That's awesome. How does that do for you? I mean, you got 13,000 people on your email list. That's great.
Yeah, it's very good. It's six figures consistently. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you do anything to drive traffic? Do you teach everything you know about driving traffic there?
So I don't teach about driving traffic. So in our industry, there's a lot of people who are teaching beginners how to build sites and monetize them and grow them. And so I didn't want to go into that route. I wanted to go into more people who have already built a site, maybe sold a site, and now they want to get into the portfolio game, building or buying multiple sites and then positioning them, strategizing them, and exiting. So this is more for people who are wanting to be website flippers, not just one-off website builders. And so it's kind of a more advanced audience. So I don't really teach how to get traffic because there's plenty of people doing that. I teach how to structure your website for the maximum exit.
So what is that? What do you teach for maximum exit? I mean, you just go in, you don't have to share your course, but
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I'm happy to share as much. Well, in the course I teach, valuation, due diligence, sourcing deals, right? That's the first aspect. How to negotiate for the best multiple, essentially, and what are the average multiples in different niches and different industries. So that's the first part. And then once you've acquired it, also how do you close on it, escrow, transfer processes, all of that. But then it's how to grow it. So that's when it ties into my easywins.io, which is essentially 100 plus strategies. And also some are covered in the course on how to grow the revenue. And that could be that you source a deal that one of the easiest wins to increase revenue is most sites do not add display advertising. So advertising from Google AdSense or bigger platforms like AdThrive, Mediavine, which are essentially the ads you see if you go to any website today. And a lot of people miss that. So that's a easy double in revenue most of the time, sometimes 3x in revenue. So that's essentially try to find deals that are missing those. Others are what's called conversion rate optimization. A lot of people get traffic and eyeballs on the site, but they don't know how to convert that to clicks to the affiliate brand. So where to add call to action buttons, where to add comparison tables, where to add images, those kind of things I cover. And these are essentially the ways you can take a site from earning, let's say, a couple $1,000s to multiple thousands of dollars. And then I teach how to position that site for sale. So when is the best time to sell? Also how to put together your prospectus, and then how to find the buyer on the other end. So it's a full A to Z of finding your first deal, positioning it, and then finding the buyer on the end.
I'm at the easywins.io site. So this is just basically a kind of blueprint of what you could do to improve traffic and revenue of a site.
Yep. This is essentially, you have a site, either you bought it or you built it. Now you have traffic. So how do you maximize the value of that traffic? And there's 120 strategies on how to do that. And it's just a table with the strategy, the easy win, some examples from some sites that I found, details on why this works and what kind of win is it. Is it a revenue win, or is it going to increase your traffic? And what's the impact? So there's very high impact wins. If you do this today, you'll see more revenue tomorrow. And then there's low impact, and you can sort it and play around with it.
So if I bought a content website that's got a little bit of traffic, maybe 500 eyeballs a month, maybe it's not 5,000, maybe it's $500 at Flippa.
Yep.
And I understand that the traffic, there's an opportunity there. I have passion in the mushroom business. You're going to say, hey, take a look at this list and what you can do to improve the website to do what? Because what's the outcome here? Am I trying to sell it for if I buy it for 500, I'm trying to sell it for 5,000, or what does that look like?
Yeah, so a flip is essentially, you buy for 500, you want to sell it for 5,000, 10,000. And so, and I don't recommend people using easy wins on sites that get 500 page views a month. It's just too little. It's really like 10,000 is kind of the range, page views a month on a website. That's when you can apply some of these tactics. So with a 10,000 page view a month, it might be earning at today's multiples, $250 to $300 a month. That's kind of the range. And then, you go through this database and see, okay, which ones can I apply to take that 250, 300 to 450, 500, let's say double, right? Not always guaranteed, but that's kind of the average if it's high value traffic. And so the traffic will stay kind of the same, 10K, but you're trying to increase the revenue. So you're taking more advantage of the existing visitors on the site, from taking 250 to 450, 500. And then you can wait a few months to get that average earnings up. So, and then you can sell it for double what you bought it, essentially.
So what's more valuable if I took the traffic from 10,000 to 30,000, or did I take the revenue from 500 to 1,500?
Yep. The exit value is based on revenue.
Based on revenue. That's more valuable, even though.
Okay. So my strong point here is that my goal is always to buy something that has traffic, but increasing traffic takes a lot of time. Now, my website flip life cycle is usually 3 to 9 months. So I buy something and 3 to 9 months, I'm ready to flip it. It just depends on the deal. So taking something from 10,000 to 30,000 page views usually takes a lot of new content, new people involved, right? And then it takes time for Google to pick it up or social media to pick it up, get that traffic up. So it takes time. So what my thing is, buy something that has 10,000 page views, apply easy wins to get the revenue up, so that you can now go and position that for sale. So taking something from $300 a month to $600 a month, you immediately double the value of that website. And then now you can sell it, or you can just keep it in your portfolio and then work on increasing the traffic. Because you've applied these easy wins already and you're making $600 on the same 10,000 page visitors. If you increase that to 30,000 page views, then now you just 3x the revenue as well. So I'm always in the proponent that traffic comes later. First, take advantage of the existing traffic to the maximum potential.
To maximize the revenue per traffic.
Yeah. Per visitor, exactly. Yeah.
And you give all these, whether it's affiliate or whether it's advertising or Google AdSense or whatever it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that. That's cool.
This won't work for e-commerce or SaaS business. This is pure
just content websites.
Exactly.
Yeah. How many students do you have on that? The easy wins?
About 600 plus now.
Yeah. That's amazing. And do you keep a user group or a Facebook group and they're all coming back to you?
Yeah, I have a private Facebook group. Our industry is mostly on Facebook. And so, I have a Facebook group, and that has a accumulation of people from all of my courses in there, and also others that I've kind of invited, so industry experts. So it's a very close-knit group. I control who's involved, who's actually added in.
Yeah, Mushfiq, hold on one second. So I got to tell you, I did an interview with Michael Bereslavsky. I think he does this thing also. You guys friends, know each other, aware of each other?
We're friends, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's very cool. Yeah. He's done a couple funds. The last time I talked to him, he's on his third fund to help him buy websites. Do you do the same?
I do not. I do not do funds. No.
You don't need to do that now, or don't want to do it, or what?
It's not need. So I can give you why I personally think it's not a good idea.
Your rationale. Yeah.
We do content websites, right? And we're relying on kind of one primary traffic source most of the time, which is Google, the search engines, Google, Bing, Yahoo, where Google is like 90% dominance here. And so there's risk. Risk is that Google has algorithmic changes. They reshuffle who's on the top and things like that. And so knowing what I know since 2008, it's very hard for me to collect multi-million dollars for a fund and then acquire sites when I know that there's a high chance if I buy something $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 value, it can half value overnight. These are things that happen, like websites I buy and tomorrow I bought it for 10,000. Let's say it's worth 2,000 now because Google did an algorithmic update. So I can't sleep at night knowing I have multi-million-dollar fund and, there's this risk involved. So I'm okay with doing that with my own money, just not with others.
So what is your average acquisition today that you do yourself?
That price point?
Yeah, price point.
Yeah, I'm usually in the 25 to 60,000 range.
And you just buy all cash. Tell me how that goes if you find something on Flippa or all the other websites out there.
Yeah, the process. Yeah, so I spend a lot of time daily sourcing. Let's say I find something, I negotiate, close, and most of our deals are cash through escrow.com, essentially.
100% of the company or partial?
No, most is 100%. Partial things and buyouts and earnouts and all that stuff happens in the 300K plus in our industry.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And you don't do any of those, or you've done some, or
I sell sites in that range, but I don't allow earnouts, so it's cash only. And personally, I have not bought anything in the 300 plus range, so no experience there.
Yeah.
My expertise is honestly taking something from 25 to 50K and selling for 200 to 300K. That's what I'm good at.
That's a nice bump there. So let's say you bought 50K, you found some on Flippa. Do you find that their valuation method is fair and rational?
So Flippa just gives suggestions. It's an auction marketplace. So whatever happens. So I wouldn't say Flippa would be a good example here. Other brokerages here within our space is Empire Flippers, Quiet Light, FE International. And yeah, in my opinion, they do value it properly. One thing just to note is I have a tool called dealfeed.io where I aggregate.
Let me go to that. Hold on.
Yeah.
Dealfeed. And I've got it right here. Dealfeed dot
IO.
Because IO is the cheapest, right?
No, actually, it's not. it's
That's like Zoom.io. The reason he bought it was what's his name? Chung bought it because it was the cheapest. Yeah.
It's cheaper than the .coms. That's for sure.
All right, so I'm going to share screen and take a look at dealfeed.io. So this is another offer you have.
Yeah. It's free.
It's free. Okay, dealfeed.io. Right.
So essentially, the biggest issue I had in this industry is there's all these brokers. There's no standardization of data and one place to find it all. So I connected directly with these brokers. I had some of them build their own API, force them to, and some already had APIs. So we connected and bring all that data into my central database, structured it, and added some insights and other things which I'll go over. And essentially, what I did here is just Quiet Light Brokerage, FE International, Empire Flippers, some of the other smaller boutique brokerages. Bring those deals here, structure it in a tabular format. Now you can sort through based on what are your investment criteria. So back to answering the question, which was, the valuations. Most of these brokerages do list at a high valuation, high multiple. Savvy buyers are negotiating that multiple down to what is today in our industry, 35x. We go on a monthly multiple, FYI, not an annual. So 35 times monthly average profits.
35 times monthly average.
Yeah, 35x
content site, right?
Content site, exactly. Yeah. So 35x monthly to 45x monthly is the typical range.
Does Quiet Light? I've worked with Joe Valley before. Do they have sites in the 25 to 60 range that you buy from, or is that where you sell them?
No. Yeah, that's where I sell them. So Empire Flippers minimum is 80 to 100K. Valuation. Quiet Light FE, I think it's a couple 100,000 list price. So the arbitrage opportunity that I do is source privately, which not everybody has that option. source through Facebook groups. There's a lot of Facebook groups selling content sites, about 3 or 4 of them. I own one as well. And people list sites for sale there. You have to sift through 100 to find 5 that are good because there's a lot of garbage. Flippa is one of my best ways to source undervalued deals. And then essentially do my whole framework and then sell through Empire Flippers, Quiet Light, F International, or better yet.
So you start at Flippa and the off-market deals on Facebook, and then you apply all your learnings, then sell them through the higher brokers like Empire Flippers or Quiet Light or
Exactly. And most
micro acquire, that's a new one on the market in the last couple of
years. Micro acquire is great. It's good for SaaS and ecom, not for content.
Yeah. Oh, okay, go ahead. So you source all these deals. Are these off-market deals or these on-market deals?
On market.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And this is free, huh? So what do they have to do to take a look at the information of the name of the site, where to start negotiating with the seller?
Yeah. So pick one, click on the arrow on the far right. You can, you can get a bit more info, and then you just go view full listing. That will take you to the brokerage platform, and you have to follow their procedure to go through that process.
Oh, this is Empire Flippers. I sold my website through Joe Magnotti and Empire Flippers. I thought they just were starting to focus all on FBA.
Yeah, there's been a big boom in the FBA space last few years.
Yeah. So this is a time saver in itself. That's fantastic.
Yep. That's the goal.
3 sites are based in China. What do you like doing best? You like doing content sites or e-commerce or FBA or?
No, I bought one FBA business, 5-6 years ago. That failed. So I realized I just stick with what I'm good at, media content.
What was it?
It was a wallet business. So
wallet business, yeah.
White labeled and branded, private label essentially from China, brought to the US and Amazon shipping center, typical Amazon FBA. It's not for me. They don't work out.
Was that a startup or was that you bought it and you tried to fix it and drive traffic, eyeballs?
Yeah, so the product was all done, sourced, had reviews, everything. The listings were done, Amazon, some sales, some ads that the previous owner did. So it's kind of all set up for me with some background. And then I just had to kind of generate more sales. However, it was not something that was easy, not for me.
So your SaaS business, what do you think of SaaS business? Do you work doing that? You like it? Don't like it?
So SaaS, it's tougher. My background being an engineer, technically I should be able to do SaaS, but it takes so essentially there's 2-pronged here. With SaaS, you still have to drive traffic organically. So it's just like any content site to bring, eyeballs and, people buying your service. But then on the other end, you have to provide a technical service. You have to have developers to build some kind of product. So,
that provides value, right? You either make money from it or you save time or something.
Yeah. So I kind of take SaaS and say it's two aspects versus content sites, which is just one aspect. I can do the same on the first aspect of SaaS, which is bring eyeballs to my site, and then be a partner, an affiliate partner or a referral partner for existing SaaS companies and just get my commission, right? I find that much easier than to build an entire SaaS. Yes, SaaS has higher multiples. You can get 10x.
Attractive.
It's great. My business model is not that sexy. So, but at the end of the day, anybody's willing. The end of the day, eyeballs are important. I can bring eyeballs to anything, right? So that's what's valuable. I'm not getting the 10x annual multiple that SaaS are getting. I'm getting more 2x, 3x annual multiples with content sites, but I'm happy with that because it's much easier, less risk. I don't need to have developers paying them $100,000 for their services, so it's easy for me.
Yeah, to write. Yeah. What do you? Just curious. I admire Neil Patel, just what he's done with his digital marketing agency, and And people ask me like, what's a tuck-in? I go, well, look at Neil Patel. What he did with Uber Suggest and Answer the Public.
Yep.
That's millions of eyeballs, and he bought it for a
Yep.
good price, but he just added so much traffic to his
Yep. Yep.
little empire.
Yep. And look, he's paving the way, kind of what I want to do. Right now, I have an audience. I have a brand. Right now, I'm going and acquiring similar businesses that service my audience. Right. I don't know when this podcast will actually go live, but I just acquired a content agency. Right. A partner.
What was that? What's the content agency?
Yeah, it's I don't know if I can share this, but I'll share it and we'll figure it out. Clockworkcopy.com.
Clockworkcopy.com. Okay.
So,
and this is a digital marketing agency, people actually doing SEO and whatever. Yeah,
exactly. So I've been always on the lookout for a content agency because, oh, come on, I'm in a content business and 90% of it is content. I mean, the value. So I've been look out for buying an agency and partnering into it. And so I sourced this one because this individual who's my other partner in this, the original person who started this, they're New Zealand based. The writers are all New Zealand individuals who are college grads, so lawyers, doctors, very educated people. So they're writing the content. Usually what happens with content agencies in our space, outsourced to non-native English speakers. So the quality of content is very, very low. So essentially that's why I partnered into this. Now we can service my niche website industry very easily through my audience, but also we'll venture into e-commerce content, SaaS content for their blogs, which is a higher value proposition.
And you're just going to be like neilpatel.com and be a digital marketing agency. He does like $100 million, over $100 million.
Yeah. That level, probably not, but yeah. So with this content agency, we're hoping for $1 million annual revenue within the next year. Year and a half.
You'll do more than that. So let me ask you about, I use Jasper now pretty religiously because it just saves me a ton of time for write video descriptions, write product descriptions, everything. What's your feeling on Chat GPT and Jasper and hiring somebody to write content when somebody can like a Chat GPT can write it within give you 6 different alternatives really quick.
Yeah. Honestly, there's a lot of talk in our industry that, hey, content sites are not going to have any value because AI can just do it. And Google is just going to show those AI results. You don't need to read a 1,000-word article. Here's my approach. And it's always been like this. There's always value in quality editorial and expert written content. You just cannot get that with any Chat GPT or anything. Now, if you're searching for how many calories is in a Snickers chocolate bar, right? You don't need a 1,000-word article to explain that. That's a 1-sentence max. And those keywords and those terms are perfect for Chat GPT and quick answers. But if you're looking for what is the best diet where I can have a Snickers a daily because I really like it, that takes a nutritionist, that takes more expertise.
That's somebody's opinion, which I evaluated some Chat GPT outcomes and they waffled. They were fence sitting on everything. They didn't give a specific answer. Like, because I was 6'4", 225, I'm a perfect candidate for should be your nutrition.
Yeah. So those kind of things. So it takes some credentials. That's where so our content site space nowadays is, let's just publish hundreds of articles answering all these very long, what I call long tail keywords, like for the pet niche. Can my rabbit eat chocolate? I mean, that's like very long, and you can write a 500 to 1,000-word article, rank it, and those will go away over time, in my opinion, because it'll go to more higher value content that requires more expertise.
Google will get smarter about indexing that.
Exactly. So, is our industry done? No. Is it going to change? Of course, it's already changing. So yeah, I mean, I don't have any strong opinions more than that, but yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Congratulations on that. What kind of price did you get on a digital marketing SEO company agency? And they're New Zealand, right?
Yeah, so most agencies sell on 1 year to 1.5 year annual revenues. The agencies
Uh-huh.
are like that. Because I bring an audience, I bring partnerships, bring, growth opportunities. Didn't have to pay much. It was just 50-50 kind of structure. And the partner was happy to kind of,
It's like, hey, if I could, Neil Patel asked me to buy my company and I know what Neil Patel could do. I said, well, yes, can I keep like 30% of it and you just do what you do?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
I know my $1 million company would be worth 50 million in just like 3 to 5 years. Yeah.
something like that. Yeah. I can't share numbers, but yeah, it's explained. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about, I'm going to go back to the big part of your business, the web acquisition. I'm going to bring it up. Here it is. It's coming up, coming up. Here it is. Online businesses for sale. Share screen. All right. So are you
You probably go to the homepage, just click the logo. Yeah, there you go.
all right. So what is this? What is that web acquisition?
Yeah, so this is my attempt to sort of separate out some of the offerings from the website flip.com. One of the biggest things people hire me for is due diligence. Due diligence for, excuse me, websites and businesses people want to buy. Also strategy on how to grow, and those kind of things. So I launched webacquisition.com, which is my M&A agency, mergers and acquisitions. So I help people with, if they find a deal, I'm going to do the due diligence report for content site, Amazon, FBA, e-commerce, and domains, essentially. So that's this, this is my first agency, essentially.
Yeah. And will this roll into your new agency, do you think? Or
No, this is a separate. So this is my mergers acquisition agency. We'll have a content agency and hopefully more in the future.
so what do you look at on the content site? Can you give an example of what a report would look like if I
Yes.
found a site doing 30?
Yeah, click on content site there. Number one option there.
Uh,
Sorry. Yeah,
oh, here it is, content site. Okay.
content. And then view sample report right at the heading.
View sample report.
Yeah, so this is a sample of a site that was listed on Pipe Flipper. So yeah, we look at a lot of stuff. It's a 20-page report. We're looking at traffic, revenue breakdown, content quality, what links are pointing to it, missing information that we need to ask the seller. We have a couple M&A advisors, myself, plus some other experts that look over the report and essentially give their personal thoughts. So everything you need all in a box, kind of structured for you.
So revenue analysis summary pass. That's a report saying pass. What do you mean?
Yeah, pass as in there's no red flags. It's good to go.
Okay.
There's no,
It passed.
yeah, pass, warning, fail, essentially. Some quick looks for, quick tips for the user.
Yeah. So SEO analysis summary warning. When you say that, that means there's opportunity, or that means don't buy it.
Yeah. So these due diligence report are red flag reports. So warning means we saw some issues. It's not a red flag where we say don't buy it at all. It's something you need to be aware of and maybe fix after buying it.
Yeah. So when you look at these and somebody brings you these and you pay for it, do you just give a independent review of it, or you say, wow, that's something I'd love to
have? No, I mean,
you got to separate that wall there, right?
Yeah, I mean, if it hasn't happened yet, okay, but I'm also sourcing deals, and if a deal comes where I have been looking at it and somebody else is looking at it, I'm not going to take their money. I'm going to say, look, honestly, I'm actually looking at this myself. I'm sorry, I can't help you. It's a conflict of interest, right?
The minimalist vegan. That's a good. Did somebody buy this and the site and then turn it around?
Yeah, somebody bought this after we did we did the review because we're not going to share somebody's confidential report. We did this review independent. Nobody paid for this.
Oh, okay.
But
This is
this
just
site was listed on Empire Flippers, and somebody else had bought it. Not my client, somebody else.
yeah. Yeah, and what do these reports cost?
It's $1,490.
How long does it take? Because
Yeah.
small niche websites, you don't have a lot of time to send an auction.
Exactly. Yeah. We have a very quick turnaround. You pay a little bit more, about $2,000. But if you do a quick turnaround, we like to say 7 days, but honestly, we do in 2 to 3 days.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
With like brokerages, what you can do, with a bigger pricing, like 200K above usually, with Empire Flipper specifically, the buyer who's interested can unlock and lock in the deal essentially with an offer. And then tell Empire Flippers, I'm getting a third party valuation and analysis done, and then contact us and then pay us, and we'll go through this process. And Empire Flippers will actually wait until you have had time to review it, and they'll give you a week.
So there's some options in there to give you some time to make an analysis of this.
Exactly.
Yeah. And do you find your students that bought your course, they're in there asking for this, so it's kind of like an upsell to them?
Yes, absolutely. The people who have gone through my course, now, just because you've gone through a course, you're not going to turn around and buy a multiple $100,000 deal on your own. So you probably order one of these reports on a site that you're interested in, get my thoughts, and then now you have a due diligence report that you can follow. You have my course you can follow. Now you can build the confidence to DIY it over time.
Yeah, that's cool. So that's just a sample. And you've done over 200 of these yourself, or it's all your partners and everybody? Yeah.
So 215 plus probably 218 now flips and broker deals. So mostly about 80% flips. So that's me buying personally and then growing and selling it. And then we also have a brokerage, very boutique, very,
what's the brokerage?
You have to go on the website flip.com and then under services.
Website.
The website Flip. Yep. And then under products.
Oh, here
brokerage. Yeah. So again, what we
3% fee. That's pretty.
Let me explain.
Yeah, okay,
we're a finder's fee brokerage. So we connect you. So sellers will come to us. We'll evaluate it, see if it passes our due diligence. And honestly, 1 out of 50 do. So we're very picky. And let's say if it does, we list it in our Wednesday newsletter that I was saying, where we do an analysis and say this is an off-market deal. Buyers express interest. We connect you directly, the seller, with the buyers, and you close on your own. We don't provide transfer support, question answer support, all of that the brokerage is
not facilitating intermediary in this.
Exactly. Okay. We're just saying, okay, I found you a buyer. You pay me if you close, and we're on a trust situation. All sellers have paid me. We haven't had a situation where they haven't. So kind of separating.
They're already in your ecosystem anyway.
Yeah, right? They don't want to piss me off. I mean, it's not the right thing to do for 3%. Right?
Yeah, 3%. That's not a lot of friction right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, come on, man! I brought you together. That's worth something.
If you want a full service brokerage where they handle everything, it's 15%. So it's actually 3% is very good for people who are savvy enough to transfer a content website, which is actually very, very easy.
Yeah. So your email list is like 13,000, or is it more than that? Yeah.
It's about 14,000. Yeah.
14,000. And that's buyers, sellers.
Yep.
Doers.
Exactly.
I gotta ask you, like, what does your day look like? I mean, how are you?
Yeah. It used to be more stressful, but I've hired some people. And so it's a less stress now. I work maybe 3 hours a day, honestly.
3 hours a day?
But it's like 3 hours focus on the laptop. I'm always on my phone, right? Sourcing deals and talking to people and chatting, right? Those things. I'm not counting that, but yeah, 3 hours of focused work.
Yeah. Yeah. And how does your life change since you decided not to be a PhD electrical engineering and working on solar startups or, renewable stuff?
Yeah, life is good. I enjoy what I'm doing. I don't have to work as much. There's no 8-hour days unless I want it, and I need it. So yeah, flexible, and all of that. I do have what's called imposter syndrome, right? I have some issues,
Why do you think you have imposter syndrome? You're doing amazing stuff here.
Yeah,
where there are there's of course there's the Neil Patels in front of you, but there are millions of people behind you going,
yeah.
Hey, show me, please show me.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a sense of, okay. Yeah, and that's the way I'm solving that is to build and partner on more legit agencies and businesses that I can put my face on, and so that's going to be solved over time. It's just a personal thing. But I do have another issue I have is I got an education. I spent 8 years, right? More than that, going through that process, and it was kind of a waste, in a way, because 2008 is when I got started in the content space. I probably should have done that full time then and there, right? And maybe just did my bachelor's engineering and just said, okay, I'm going to do this, buying and selling. But, spend a lot more time on education. So I have that side of me is like saying, okay, should I do something in the energy space? Should I buy a solar business? Should I, do something there? And that's still something in my back of my mind that one day I want to buy some kind of a renewable energy business, because I have expertise there that I don't want to waste, right?
Yeah, you feel like you have some kind of attachment to it that you have to do, I guess, huh?
Yeah, and honestly, a lot of people say, no, you don't. You don't have to do it because I've been kind of through a lot of the bankruptcies and trauma involved with this kind of energy industry. So it's always like, okay, I find something really interesting that looks good, like a solar business or something. But then I think about, oh my goodness, the headaches involved. And then I stop myself, right? So yeah.
Yeah, I've had this discussion online where a New York marketing from NYU, a professor for marketing from NYU said, hey, Elon's making a big mistake. He doesn't know what he's doing. I go, well, he's still worth $140 billion, even though the stock's down. Like, making 2 launches per day and landing them. What are you talking about? Right? Exactly. Should you spend 4 years at New York University at $60,000 a year, or buy a niche website taught by Mushfiq and start flipping them every day when you're 18, 19, 20 years old?
Yeah, obviously that's how you answered the question. Yeah. I like the caveat that it's not easy, right? What we're doing, it's not like, and no, a lot it's not. Beginners reach out to me like, I want to make $10,000 a month. Tell me what to do. Look, it's not easy. You can buy.
What do you tell them? What the specifics do you tell?
Yeah.
And the reason I say this is like a lot of people call it, I'd like to buy a business in 3 months. Yeah.
No,
a $2 billion business in 3 months, that's not going to happen. First of all, you got to source a ton of deals. First, you got to line up your financing. And are you eligible? Then you got to negotiate with a ton of people. And even if you talk to 500, you may get 2 LOIs.
Yeah.
90 days go by pretty fast.
Yeah. It's a little different with like the way you explain it, because maybe they're buying more physical business, or maybe they're buying a SaaS or e-commerce. With content sites, it's really easy to get started. You don't need to buy. So this is what I tell beginners. If you've never had experience with SEO, social media, or monetization, or any of that, you have to build from scratch just like how I started. Build something from scratch, understand the process, monetize it, then flip it, sell it. That's when, after that, come to me, and then learn my processes and start to buy. I never tell anybody, oh yeah, you want to earn 10,000. Oh, you have $100,000 in the bank. Yeah, come into my platform. Give me all your money. I'll help you. No. I say, go away. Go to my friends over there, authorityhackers.com, which is an affiliatelab.com. These guys are the people who give training and courses for building sites from scratch. go get their courses first, learn the whole process for a year, 2 years, then come to me. So it's very critical. I don't want people to think, oh, I have so money from cryptocurrency trades that I made, selling Bitcoin. And now I see Mushfiq making 6 figures. Look at this, all these case studies, and I want to do it too. And I want to dump a lot of money. I have seen a lot of people lose a lot of money buying sites on Empire Flippers because they had the money, and Empire Flippers is a brokerage, right? Their thing is to the seller side, right? That's who they represent. So they're
they work for the seller, not the
and so it's not their fault, right? Buyers need to be educated. And so they buy it and then they have no idea what to do next on a multiple $100,000 website. They don't know what to do next. So that is the wrong approach.
Buy your course on your what to do, easywins.io.
Yeah, I mean, still, it's like you really gotta fine tune the practice. Just like anything, you're not going to go, if you want to start playing basketball, you're not going to go and go play college ball. You got to start small, right? So
that's true. That's what I tell people. Like, start doing layups before you start.
Exactly.
3-point shots. Yeah.
Start learning how to dribble. What is a basketball? Learn what is that first. So yeah. Anyways, short story: build, then buy.
Yeah. I'm looking back at your site, the website Flip, and you've got as featured on Empire Flippers, Flippa, SEM Rush, Niche Pursuits, Entrepreneur, Domain Magnet. That's Michael Beroslavsky.
Yes.
Investor Club, Quiet Lie, Joe Valley. What's Ezoic? EZOIC.
There's a display advertising network. Advertising network. Yeah.
AppSumo. What do you do with AppSumo? And
essentially, I was featured on their site for some purpose, maybe an article I wrote or a product, some recommendation. That's when that happens. I put the logo on there if they're well known. So I've been featured.
Yeah, that's cool. You can do it. Niche website builders and Odysseus. What is how you?
Otis. Yeah, Otis is one of my oldest, most loyal advertisers. They're essentially a marketplace for age domains. So domains where you can buy a branded domain with a history. Maybe that company went bankrupt and the domain is available. You can buy it and build a business on top of that again. So it's one of the ways I build nowadays, rather than starting fresh on a $10 domain that you get from GoDaddy or Namecheap or whatever.
So why is that? Because it already has age to it with the Google SEO. Yeah,
it has age in terms of maybe it's 20 years old. It has backlinks, so it's SEO value, essentially, and so you can kind of repurpose that SEO value to get a boost. Now, it doesn't always work. 50% success rate for me, who's a professional. So it's
better than buying a brand new domain. And I have a cemetery of domains in my GoDaddy.
So do I. It really depends. For me, time is more valuable than money. It's weird to say, but it is. My hourly rate is multiple hundreds of dollars. So I'm willing to take a risk on a domain that's aged, that's a couple $1,000s, maybe $5,000, and have a chance that I can get that. Take advantage of the existing age and SEO value to get that boost initially. If you're starting fresh on a domain that's $10, never been used before, fresh,
there's
right?
No backlinks, there's no SEO towards it, nothing. Yeah.
.com, .net, whatever. It can take 12 months for Google to start to bring traffic to your site if you did everything right. Yeah. So that's something I don't have patience for because I know what to do, so I can kind of expedite that process. So that's why I use age domains.
Yeah. And do you talk about that in the Easy Wins?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a course on age domains. That's another
course on age domains. That's beautiful.
How to source, how to build, and how to structure it. There's a lot more technicalities involved with that than just buying a business.
Well, Mushfiq, this is amazing, man. You built a nice little business here, and I really appreciate the time spending with me.
Sure. Yeah. That was great.
So somebody watches this, what's the first thing you want them to do?
The first thing I want them to benefit.
Go, oh man, I love what this guy's doing. I'm thinking about doing it. I want to start on this. Well, where do I start? Just sign up for the newsletter.
Look, I have courses, and that's great, but you don't need to buy my courses if you're on a budget. Courses to save you time. Everything I talk about is in articles on the website flip.com. I have over 200 articles that I wrote personally. So if you have time but not enough money, then read all my articles. You'll learn everything from scratch. If you have money but not time, that's why I built the courses. So the websiteflip.com is a great way to connect with me and learn. I'm very active on Twitter at the website flip. You can see a lot of day-to-day things that I'm doing. Yeah, I think those are two spots.
Beautiful. Thanks so much for spending today with me.
Thank you, John. Thank you.
All right. Let me stop record. I hope this video has inspired you. If you need help buying your first $1 million business, make sure to visit me at dealflowsystem.net. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe down below. Comment on it, share it, tell everyone about it. And thanks for watching.